You betrayed me. Now live with the consequences.
25 years of marriage, and I'm sitting alone at our dining room table with 2 plates of cold lasagna and a bottle of wine that's gone warm. The candles I lit 3 hours ago have burned down to waxy stubs, and my phone shows 17 unanswered calls to my wife, Sarah. "Happy anniversary to me," I mutter, pouring another glass of the Merlot we'd been saving since our honeymoon in Napa. The irony tastes bitter on my tongue. My name is David Thompson, and I fix broken things for a living. Air conditioners, heating systems, industrial refrigeration units, anything with moving parts and a tendency to quit when you need it most. I'm good at diagnosing problems, finding the root cause, and making things work again. But apparently, I missed the signs that my own marriage was falling apart. The house feels enormous around me, echoing with 25 years of memories that now seem like lies. Sarah's been working late at the law firm more nights than not, always with some urgent case that couldn't wait. Her sister Jennifer has been filling her head with poison about how she deserves better, how she's wasting her prime years on a blue-collar husband who'll never appreciate her ambition. Jennifer. Even thinking her name makes my jaw clench. Sarah's older sister, the real estate queen of our suburban town, with her perfectly manicured nails and her endless supply of opinions about everyone else's life. She's been campaigning against me since the day Sarah and I got engaged, convinced that her baby sister married beneath her station. The phone rings at 11:47 p.m. Unknown number. "Mr. Thompson? This is Officer Martinez with the County Sheriff's Department. We need you to come to General Hospital immediately. Your wife has been in an incident." My blood turns to ice water. "What kind of incident? Is she hurt?" "She's stable, sir, but she needs medical attention. We found her at the Riverside Motel on Highway 9. Can you come down here right away?" Riverside Motel. The kind of place that rents rooms by the hour and doesn't ask questions. My stomach drops through the floor. "I'll be right there." I grab my keys and head into the night, knowing with sick certainty that my marriage just died along with any illusions I had left. The hospital emergency room smells like disinfectant and broken dreams. Officer Martinez is a tired-looking woman in her 40s, who guides me through the maze of curtained beds with the weary efficiency of someone who's seen too much. "She was found unconscious in room 237, she explains as we walk. "Appears to have been drinking heavily. The gentleman she was with left the scene before we arrived." Gentleman. Right. Sarah is lying in bed 3, looking smaller than I've ever seen her. Her expensive blonde highlights are matted with sweat, her makeup smeared into raccoon circles around her eyes. The designer dress I bought her for our anniversary is wrinkled and stained, hanging off one shoulder. Her phone is buzzing constantly on the bedside table. The screen lights up with each message. Kevin. Kevin, I should have known. Kevin Walsh, the smooth-talking tech consultant who's been sniffing around Sarah's law firm for months. 38 years old, drives a BMW, thinks he's God's gift to married women looking for excitement. "Mrs. Thompson?" The doctor appears beside me, a young resident who looks like he should still be in high school. "Your wife is going to be fine. She's dehydrated and intoxicated, but there's no permanent damage. We'd like to keep her overnight for observation." I nod, staring down at the woman I've shared a bed with for 25 years. She looks like a stranger. "The police will need to speak with her when she wakes up," the doctor continues. "There are some questions about the circumstances." "I'm sure there are." My voice sounds hollow, even to me. Sarah's eyes flutter open as I'm signing paperwork. She sees me and immediately starts crying. Not the tears of remorse I might have hoped for, but the angry, frustrated tears of someone who's been caught. "David, I can explain." "Can you?" I pull the visitor's chair closer to her bed, keeping my voice low. "Can you explain why my wife is lying in a hospital bed, reeking of cheap liquor and cheaper cologne, after spending our 25th anniversary in a motel room with another man?" "It's not what you think." "It's exactly what I think, Sarah. The only question is how long it's been going on." She turns her face away from me. 6 months. 6 months. While I was planning our anniversary dinner, buying her jewelry, talking about maybe taking that trip to Europe we'd always promised ourselves. 6 months of lies and late nights and urgent cases that were really urgent needs to screw around with Kevin Walsh. "I want a divorce," I say quietly. Her head snaps back toward me. "David, please. We can work this out. It was a mistake." I was confused, and Jennifer said what? Sarah's mouth opens and closes like a fish gasping for air. She said I deserved to be happy, that I was wasting my life with someone who couldn't give me what I needed. There it is. Jennifer's poison, finally bearing fruit. And what exactly do you need that I haven't given you? I ask. The house, the cars, the vacations, the fact that I worked 60-hour weeks so you could go to law school? What was I supposed to give you that I didn't? Excitement, she whispers. Passion, someone who understood my ambitions. I stand up, the chair scraping against the linoleum floor. Well, congratulations, you found excitement. I hope it was worth 25 years. I'm halfway to the door when she calls out, "Where are you going?" "Home, to pack your things." By morning, word has spread through our neighborhood like wildfire. Small towns are like that. Everyone knows everyone else's business, especially when it involves ambulances and police cars at the local no-tell motel. I'm loading Sarah's belongings into garbage bags when my daughter Emma calls. She's 23, fresh out of college, and completely devoted to her mother. "Dad, what the heck is wrong with you?" Her voice is sharp with accusation. "Mom's in the hospital and you're throwing her out?" "Your mother made her choice, Emma. She can live with the consequences." "She made a mistake. People make mistakes. You're being cruel and vindictive and—" "I'm being honest." I drop a bag of Sarah's designer shoes by the front door. "Something your mother hasn't been in 6 months. Aunt Jennifer says you've always been controlling and jealous. She says Mom was suffocating in this marriage." Of course, Jennifer says that. Jennifer, who's been waiting 25 years for exactly this moment. Your Aunt Jennifer can mind her own business for once in her life. Don't you dare talk about her that way. She's been more supportive of Mom than you ever were. I hang up and immediately dial my best friend Rick, the only person in this mess I can trust to tell me the truth. "Jesus, Dave," he says when he picks up. "I heard about last night. You okay?" Rick owns a small construction company and has been my closest friend since high school. He's the kind of guy who shows up with beer and a truck when you need help moving, and doesn't ask stupid questions when your life falls apart. "I've been better. Can you come over? I need help with something." He arrives 20 minutes later with coffee and donuts, taking in the garbage bags and cardboard boxes without comment. "So what's the plan?" he asks, settling into my kitchen chair like he's done 1,000 times before. "Divorce, clean break. She can have whatever the lawyers say she's entitled to, but I'm done pretending this marriage was anything more than a lie. What about your friends? Tom and Lisa, the Hendersons? You guys have been tight for years." I've been dreading this conversation. Tom and Lisa Martinez have been our closest couple friends since Emma was in elementary school. We've shared countless dinners, vacations, holiday parties. Their kids grew up with mine. But I know how these things work. When a couple splits up, friends choose sides. I guess we'll find out who our real friends are. The phone rings. It's Tom. "Dave, man, we heard about Sarah. How are you holding up?" "I'm managing. Listen, we want you to know that we're here for you. Whatever you need," relief floods through me. "Thanks, Tom. That means a lot. Of course, we've been friends too long to let something like this come between us. Sarah's going through a tough time, but that doesn't change how we feel about you." We talk for a few more minutes about practical things, lawyers, moving arrangements, how to tell the kids. When I hang up, I feel like maybe I won't lose everything in this mess. I'm wrong. 2 days later, I run into Tom at the grocery store. He sees me coming down the cereal aisle and immediately turns his cart around, heading in the opposite direction. "Tom!" I call out. "Hey, wait up." He stops reluctantly, not meeting my eyes. "Oh, hey, Dave, how's it going?" "Better, I think. Listen, you want to grab a beer later? I could use some normal conversation." Tom shifts uncomfortably, studying his shopping list with sudden intense interest. "Actually, I can't. Lisa and we're having dinner with Sarah tonight." The words hit me like a physical blow. "You're having dinner with Sarah? She's really struggling, Dave. Jennifer called Lisa, said Sarah needs friends right now. She's staying at Jennifer's place and she's a mess." "She's a mess?" I repeat his words slowly, letting them sink in. "Tom, she cheated on me. For 6 months. I found her in a motel room with another man on our anniversary." "I know, and that's awful, but what?" Tom finally looks at me directly, and I see something in his eyes that makes my stomach turn. Pity. And worse, judgment. "Look, Dave, we've all seen how things have been between you two. You work all the time, you never want to go out. You're always complaining about money. Sarah's a vibrant, successful woman, and maybe she felt trapped. So, It's my fault she cheated. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying relationships are complicated. There are always two sides to every story. Two sides. As if there's a side to adultery that makes it acceptable. What did Jennifer tell you? I asked quietly. Tom's face flushes. She said Sarah's been unhappy for years, that you've been emotionally distant and unsupportive of her career, that you resented her success and made her feel guilty for wanting more out of life. Jennifer's version of events, filtered through Tom and Lisa's need to feel sophisticated and understanding. Sarah isn't a cheating wife. She's a trapped woman seeking liberation. I'm not the betrayed husband. I'm the oppressive patriarch who drove her to it. And you believe that? I believe Sarah's our friend, and she needs support right now. We can't just abandon her because she made a mistake. A mistake. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. 6 months of screwing around behind my back is a mistake. Don't be crude, Dave. This is hard enough without you being bitter. Bitter. I'm bitter for being angry about adultery. You know what, Tom? You're right. This is hard enough. Enjoy your dinner. I walk away, leaving my half-full cart in the middle of the aisle. Behind me, I hear Tom call my name, but I don't turn around. That evening, Rick comes over with a six-pack and finds me sitting in my garage, staring at the wall. Rough day? I tell him about the conversation with Tom. Rick listens without interrupting, occasionally shaking his head. They're choosing her, I finish. All of them. 20 years of friendship, and they're choosing the cheating wife over the guy who got cheated on. Not all of them, Rick says firmly. I'm not choosing her. You're one person, Rick. Tom and Lisa, the Hendersons, the Kowalskis. They're all going to side with Sarah. Because Jennifer's spinning this story where I'm the villain and Sarah's the victim. So what are you going to do about it? I look at him, and for the first time since this nightmare started, I smile. It's not a nice smile. I'm going to stop being the nice guy. Sarah comes home 3 days later to collect more of her things. I'm waiting for her in the living room. Divorce papers spread across the coffee table like a battle plan. She looks terrible. Her usually perfect hair is pulled back in a messy ponytail, and she's wearing sweatpants and one of Jennifer's oversized sweaters. The confident, successful attorney is gone, replaced by a woman who looks like she hasn't slept in days. David, we need to talk. No, we don't. You need to sign these papers and figure out where you're going to live permanently. Jennifer's guest room isn't a long-term solution. She sits down across from me, her hands shaking slightly as she picks up the documents. You're really going to destroy our family over this? I didn't destroy anything, Sarah. You did that when you decided Kevin Walsh was more important than your marriage vows. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. I leaned forward, keeping my voice calm and level. You made a choice. Every time you met him, every lie you told me, every night you came home late reeking of his cologne, those were all choices. Now you get to live with the consequences. She starts crying again, but this time I don't feel the automatic urge to comfort her. That instinct died in the hospital room. Jennifer says you're being unreasonable. She says if you really loved me, you'd be willing to work through this. Jennifer says a lot of things. Jennifer's been trying to break us up since our wedding day, and now she finally got her wish. Congratulations to both of you. That's not fair. Jennifer just wants what's best for me. Jennifer wants you to be as miserable and bitter as she is, and apparently you're happy to oblige. Sarah's tears turn angry. You have no right to talk about my sister that way. She's been there for me when no one else was. She's been there to poison you against your own husband. There's a difference. You're impossible. Sarah stands up, the papers scattering to the floor. This is exactly why I needed someone else. You're cold and sarcastic, and you never listen to what I actually need. What you needed was a marriage counselor, not a motel room. I needed a husband who cared about my happiness. I needed a wife who didn't screw around behind my back. We're shouting now, 25 years of resentment and disappointment spilling out in ugly waves. This is the conversation we should have had years ago, before lawyers and other men in hospital rooms. I never meant for it to happen, Sarah says, her voice breaking. Kevin he understood me. He listened to my dreams and my frustrations, and he made me feel alive again. And I made you feel dead. You made me feel invisible. The words hang between us like a blade. Maybe she's right. Maybe I did get so caught up in providing for our family that I forgot to actually live with them. Maybe I did take her for granted, assume she'd always be there, no matter how many hours I worked or how tired I was when I got home. But that doesn't justify what she did. I'm sorry I wasn't the husband you needed, I say quietly. But that doesn't make what you did okay. I know. Her voice is barely a whisper. I know it doesn't. Then sign the papers. She does, her signature shaky but legible. When she's finished, she looks up at me with red-rimmed eyes. What happens now? Now you figure out your life without me in it. After she leaves, I call my lawyer to confirm the papers are filed correctly. Then I do something I've been putting off for 3 days. I call the Hendersons. Mike Henderson has been my friend since our kids were in Little League together. We've coached youth soccer, gone on camping trips, shared countless barbecues and birthday parties. If anyone will understand my side of this mess, it should be Mike. Dave, how are you holding up? His voice is warm but careful. I've been better. Listen, I wanted to talk to you before you heard Jennifer's version of events. Jennifer's version? She's been calling everyone we know, spinning this story where Sarah's the victim and I'm the controlling husband who drove her to cheat. There's a long pause. Dave, maybe we shouldn't get in the middle of this. I'm not asking you to get in the middle. I'm asking you to remember who I am. 20 years of friendship should count for something. Of course it does. But Sarah's our friend too, and she's going through a really tough time right now. She's going through a tough time. I can't keep the bitterness out of my voice. Mike, she cheated on me for 6 months with a guy she met through work. How is that my fault? Nobody's saying it's your fault, but what? Another pause. Look, Dave, we've all noticed that things have been strained between you two for a while. You guys barely talked at parties. You never seem to have fun together anymore. Maybe this is just the wake-up call you both needed. A wake-up call? Yeah, maybe now you can both figure out what went wrong and fix it. Mike, there's nothing to fix. She chose another man over our marriage. It's over. Don't be so hasty, Dave. Marriage is work. Sometimes people make mistakes. Mistakes. The same word Tom used, as if adultery is just an oopsie, like forgetting to pick up milk at the store. This wasn't a mistake, Mike. This was a choice. She chose to lie to me for 6 months. She chose to meet another man in motel rooms. She chose to throw away 25 years of marriage for some excitement. I understand you're hurt. No, you don't understand. None of you understand. You're all so busy being sophisticated and non-judgmental that you've forgotten the difference between right and wrong. That's not fair. Fair? I laugh, and it sounds harsh even to me. You want to know what's not fair? What's not fair is having your wife cheat on you and then having all your friends act like you're the problem for being upset about it. Dave, calm down. I am calm. I'm perfectly calm, and I'm perfectly clear about who my real friends are. I hang up before he can respond. That night, Rick comes over again. He's made this a nightly routine, showing up with beer or food or just his presence, making sure I don't do anything stupid. Let me guess, he says, seeing my face. The Hendersons are Team Sarah too. Apparently, I'm the unreasonable one for not wanting to work through my wife's affair. Their loss. Is it, though? I sink into my recliner, suddenly exhausted. Maybe they're right. Maybe I was a lousy husband. Maybe I did drive her to it. Bees, Rick's voice is sharp. I've known you for 30 years, Dave. You're not perfect, but you're a good man. You worked your A off to provide for your family. You never cheated, never lied, never did anything but try to be the husband and father you thought they needed. But I wasn't what Sarah needed. Sarah needed to grow the heck up and talk to you instead of screwing around with some smooth-talking jackass. Try telling that to our friends. They're not your friends, Dave. Friends don't abandon you when life gets messy. Friends don't make excuses for people who hurt you. Friends stand by you when the world goes crazy. He's right, but it doesn't make the betrayal hurt any less. These people have been part of my life for decades. Their kids grew up with my kids. We've celebrated birthdays and holidays and graduations together, and now they're all gone, choosing Sarah's narrative over the truth. So, what now? I ask. Now, you stop caring what they think and start living for yourself. I don't even know what that means anymore. It means you stop being the nice guy who takes everyone's crap and starts being the guy who fights back. I look at him, remembering the smile I felt earlier, the not nice smile. What did you have in mind? The opportunity comes 2 weeks later at Emma's birthday party. My daughter is turning 24, and despite everything that's happened, she still wants both her parents there. Sarah and I agree to a temporary ceasefire for Emma's sake. The party is at a trendy restaurant downtown, the kind of place Sarah always loved, and I always found overpriced. Emma has invited about 20 people, college friends, co-workers, and, unfortunately, several of our former couple friends. I arrive early, hoping to avoid the awkward small talk, but Tom and Lisa Martinez are already there, clustered around Sarah like protective bodyguards. They see me walk in, and their conversation stops abruptly. "David?" Lisa says, her smile tight and artificial. "How nice that you could make it. Wouldn't miss my daughter's birthday." Sarah looks up from her conversation with Emma, and I see her tense. She's lost weight, and the stress shows in the lines around her eyes. Part of me feels sorry for her, but I push that feeling down. Sympathy is a luxury I can't afford anymore. "Dad!" Emma rushes over to hug me, and for a moment the tension in the room recedes. "I'm so glad you're here." "Happy birthday, sweetheart." I hand her a small wrapped box. "From your old man." She opens it eagerly, gasping when she sees the diamond earrings inside. "Dad, these are beautiful, but they must have cost—" "Don't worry about the cost. You only turned 24 once." I catch Sarah's expression out of the corner of my eye. She's frowning, probably calculating how much I spent and wondering if I'm trying to upstage her gift. More guests arrive, including Mike and Carol Henderson. Mike nods at me politely but doesn't come over to talk. The message is clear. We're not friends anymore, just two people who happen to know the same birthday girl. The dinner proceeds with forced civility. I'm seated at the opposite end of the table from Sarah, which suits me fine. I make conversation with Emma's college roommate and her boyfriend, normal people who don't know about the drama and treat me like a regular human being. But I can hear fragments of conversation from Sarah's end of the table, and it's clear that Jennifer has been busy. Words like controlling and emotionally unavailable float down to me, along with sympathetic murmurs from Tom and Lisa. The breaking point comes during dessert when Mike Henderson raises his wine glass for a toast. "To Emma," he says, smiling at my daughter. 24 years old and beautiful inside and out. And to Sarah for raising such an amazing young woman. The toast is clearly deliberate, a pointed exclusion that makes my role in Emma's upbringing invisible. Several people glance at me uncomfortably, but they all drink anyway. Emma looks mortified. "Dad helped raise me too," she says quietly. "Of course he did," Lisa says quickly. "We all know David loves you very much." The condescension in her tone is unmistakable. I'm being patted on the head like a child who needs reassurance. I stand up, my chair scraping against the floor. "Actually, let me add something to that toast." The table goes quiet. Sarah's eyes are wide with alarm. "To Emma," I say, raising my own glass. "Who deserves better than to watch her parents' friends choose sides based on gossip and half-truths? And to all of you who've decided that adultery is forgivable, but divorce isn't—" "David," Sarah hisses. Don't what? Tell the truth? Isn't that what friends are supposed to do?" Tom puts down his wine glass. "Dave, this isn't the time or place." "When is the time and place, Tom?" "When you're having dinner with my cheating wife and pretending I'm the villain. When you're avoiding me at the grocery store like I have some contagious disease." "Nobody thinks you're a villain," Lisa says, but her voice lacks conviction. "Really? Then why are you all treating me like one? Why am I the one who's lost all his friends while Sarah gets sympathy and dinner invitations?" "Because she needs support right now," Carol Henderson speaks up for the first time. "She made a mistake, but she's trying to rebuild her life." "She made a mistake." I turn to face Carol directly. "Is that what we're calling 6 months of adultery now? A mistake?" "People are complicated, David. Marriages are complicated. Sometimes nothing." My voice is getting louder, and I can see other diners starting to stare. Sometimes a cheating spouse is just a cheating spouse. Sometimes the person who broke their vows is actually the one in the wrong. What a concept. "Dad, please," Emma says, tears starting to form in her eyes. "Can we not do this here?" I look at my daughter, seeing the pain I'm causing her, and feel a moment of shame. But then I see Sarah's face, and the way our former friends are looking at me with a mixture of pity and disapproval, and the anger comes roaring back. "You're right, sweetheart. This isn't your fault, and it shouldn't be your problem." I turn back to the table. "But since we're all here together, let me make something clear. I don't need your understanding or your friendship. I especially don't need your lectures about forgiveness and second chances from people who don't know what they're talking about." "We're just trying to help," Tom says weakly. "You want to help? Stop making excuses for adultery. Stop pretending that being betrayed by your spouse for 6 months is something you should just get over. And stop acting like I'm the bad guy for refusing to be a doormat." I throw my napkin on the table and pull out my wallet, dropping enough cash to cover my portion of the meal. Emma, I love you, and I'm sorry your birthday got ruined by adult drama. Call me tomorrow and we'll celebrate properly, just the two of us. I kiss her forehead and walk out, leaving behind a table full of shocked faces and uncomfortable silence. In the parking lot, my hands are shaking as I unlock my truck. The confrontation felt good in the moment, but now I'm wondering if I've just made everything worse. Emma will probably hate me for causing a scene at her party. Sarah will use this as evidence that I'm unstable and vindictive. But for the first time in weeks, I feel like myself again. Not the victim, not the abandoned husband, not the guy everyone pities, just David Thompson, who's tired of being pushed around and finally decided to push back. My phone buzzes with a text from Rick. Heard you gave quite a speech tonight. Buy you a beer? I smile, and this time it's a real smile. At least I still have one friend left. 3 weeks after Emma's birthday disaster, I'm sitting in my lawyer's office reviewing the final divorce settlement when inspiration strikes. Sarah wants the house I've been paying the mortgage on for 15 years, the house where I installed every light fixture and painted every room. She also wants half my retirement fund and spousal support for 3 years. She's entitled to it under state law, my lawyer explains. 25-year marriage, she gave up earning potential to support your career early on. But there's something Sarah doesn't know about, something I've been working on for the past 2 years in my spare time, something that's about to make me a very wealthy man. The patent application I filed 18 months ago just got approved. The new refrigeration system I designed for industrial use, the one I developed in my garage workshop while Sarah was working late with Kevin, is about to be licensed by 3 major companies. The initial contracts are worth $2 million, with royalties projected at another $3 million over the next 5 years. Since the patent was filed after our separation date, it's not marital property. Sarah gets half of everything we built together, but my post-marriage success is mine alone. I'm still savoring this irony when my phone rings. It's Emma. Dad, I need to talk to you about something. We meet at a coffee shop near her apartment. She looks nervous, fidgeting with her purse strap and avoiding eye contact. What's on your mind, sweetheart? It's about Mom and Kevin. My stomach tightens. What about them? They're engaged. The words hit me like a physical blow. It's been less than 2 months since our divorce was finalized, and Sarah is already planning to marry the man she cheated with. When? He proposed last week. Mom wanted me to tell you before you heard it from someone else. How thoughtful of her. Emma winces at my tone. Dad, I know this is hard, but what? I should be happy for them? Send a congratulations card? I just don't want you to do anything extreme. I study my daughter's face, seeing the worry there. What kind of extreme are we talking about? I don't know. Mom says you've been acting unpredictably lately. The scene at my birthday party? Some angry voicemails you left for Aunt Jennifer. Ah, yes, the voicemails. I may have called Jennifer a few choice names after she started telling people I was emotionally harmful. Nothing threatening, just honest assessments of her character and her role in destroying my marriage. Your mother's right to be concerned, I say carefully. I have been acting unpredictably, but not in the way she thinks. What do you mean? I pull out my phone and show Emma the email from my patent attorney. Her eyes widen as she reads the licensing agreements and projected royalty payments. Dad, this is incredible. You're going to be rich. I already am rich. The first payment cleared yesterday. Emma looks confused. But this is wonderful news. Why haven't you told anyone? Because I wanted to save it for the right moment. And I think that moment just arrived. I explained my plan to Emma, watching her expression change from confusion to understanding to something approaching awe. You're going to buy Kevin's company? I'm going to buy Kevin's company, fire Kevin, and then sell it to his biggest competitor. All perfectly legal, all perfectly ruthless. Kevin Walsh runs a small tech consulting firm with about 20 employees. It's successful, but not particularly profitable. And Kevin's been looking for investors to help expand. He has no idea that the venture capital firm that's been courting him is actually a front for my new investment company. Dad, that's actually brilliant. I thought so. But won't Mom figure out it's you? Eventually. But by then it'll be too late. Kevin will be unemployed, his company will be gone, and their fairy tale romance will have to survive on Sarah's lawyer salary alone. Emma is quiet for a long moment, processing what I've told her. Are you sure about this? It seems like a lot of money to spend just for revenge. It's not just revenge, sweetheart. It's justice. Kevin helped destroy my marriage, and now he gets to find out what that costs. What about Mom? She'll be hurt too. Your mother made her choice. She chose excitement over stability, passion over commitment. Now she gets to live with an unemployed fiancé instead of a successful husband. Emma nods slowly. When does this happen? The papers are being signed tomorrow. Kevin will be out of a job by Friday. And you're sure this is legal? Completely. Hostile takeovers happen every day. The only unusual thing about this one is the motivation. The next morning, I'm drinking coffee in my kitchen when my phone starts ringing. First call is from Emma. Dad, it's happening. Mom just called me crying. Kevin got fired and his company got sold. She's freaking out. I imagine she is. Second call is from Sarah herself. I let it go to voicemail, then listen to her increasingly frantic messages. David, please call me back. Something terrible has happened to Kevin's business, and I think someone's targeting us. Please, I need to talk to you. Third call is from Jennifer. This one, I answer. You son of a witch, she snarls without preamble. I know this was you. I'm sorry, Jennifer. I don't know what you're talking about. Kevin's company, the takeover, the firing. This has your fingerprints all over it. I'm just a simple HVAC repair guy, Jennifer. I don't know anything about corporate takeovers. Bees. Sarah told me about some patent you filed. You came into money, and you're using it to destroy Kevin. That's a very serious accusation. Do you have any proof? The silence stretches out for several seconds. Of course, she doesn't have proof. The investment company is registered in Delaware, the paperwork is handled by lawyers, and my name appears nowhere in the public records. You're sick, she finally says. This is sick and twisted and... Jennifer, let me ask you something. For the past 6 months, you've been telling everyone who'll listen that Sarah deserves better than me, that she needs a man who can give her excitement and passion and all the things I apparently couldn't provide. Well, congratulations. She got exactly what you wanted for her. She got a man who loves her. She got a man who's now unemployed and unemployable in his chosen field. A man who helped her cheat on her husband and then proposed to her before the divorce papers were even dry. A man who's about to discover that actions have consequences. You're destroying innocent people's lives. Innocent? I laugh, and even I can hear the edge in it. Jennifer, there's nothing innocent about adultery. Nothing innocent about breaking up a 25-year marriage for some excitement. Your sister and her boyfriend made choices, and now they get to live with the results. This isn't over. Yes, it is. It's completely over. Sarah has what she wanted. Kevin has what he deserves, and I have what I need. Which is what? Peace, and the knowledge that sometimes the good guys do win. I hang up and pour myself another cup of coffee. Outside, it's a beautiful spring morning, and for the first time in months, I feel genuinely happy. My phone rings again. This time it's Rick. Dave, you magnificent bastard. I just heard about Kevin Walsh. Please tell me that was you. I have no idea what you're talking about. Right. Well, whoever did it, they're buying the first round tonight. Heck, they're buying all the rounds. In that case, I'll see you at Murphy's at 6. Dave? Yeah? I'm proud of you, man. It's about time someone fought back. After I hang up, I sit in my quiet kitchen and think about the past few months. The betrayal, the divorce, the loss of friends I thought would stand by me, the humiliation of being treated like the villain in my own tragedy, but also the discovery that I'm stronger than I thought, that I don't need other people's approval to know who I am, that sometimes the best revenge isn't getting mad, it's getting even. My phone buzzes with a text from Emma. Dad, I love you. What you did was epic. I smile and text back. Love you too, sweetheart. Dinner this weekend? Absolutely. And Dad, I think you're going to be just fine. She's right. For the first time since this nightmare started, I know she's absolutely right. Sarah can have her excitement and passion. Kevin can have his unemployment and his ruined reputation. Jennifer can have her bitterness and her schemes. I have my dignity, my daughter's respect, and enough money to build whatever life I want next. And sometimes, that's the best revenge of all. ## epilogue. The final move. 6 months later, I'm standing in the lobby of the Grand Marquis Hotel watching Sarah and Kevin's wedding reception through the glass doors of the ballroom. It's a much smaller affair than our wedding was. Maybe 50 people compared to the 200 who celebrated with us 25 years ago. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm here because Emma asked me to pick her up, and she's running late, saying goodbye to relatives she rarely sees. Kevin looks older than his 38 years. the stress of unemployment and a failed business venture showing in the lines around his eyes. He's working as a freelance consultant now, making about a quarter of what he used to earn. Sarah's paying for the wedding, the apartment, most of their living expenses. She looks beautiful in her ivory dress, but there's a tightness around her smile that wasn't there on our wedding day. The excitement and passion she was seeking has been tempered by financial reality and the knowledge that fairy tales don't pay the bills. Dad? Emma appears beside me, elegant in her bridesmaid dress. Ready to go? Ready when you are. As we walk toward the exit, I catch sight of Tom and Lisa Martinez at one of the tables. Tom sees me and raises his hand in a hesitant wave. I nod back politely, but don't stop to chat. Do you ever regret it? Emma asks as we reach my truck. What you did to Kevin's company? I consider the question seriously. No, he helped destroy my marriage and he got exactly what he deserved. The only thing I regret is that it took me so long to stop being the nice guy. And Mom, do you regret what happened to her? I look back at the hotel where Sarah is dancing with her new husband while their friends pretend everything is perfect. Your mother made her choices, Emma. She chose excitement over stability, passion over commitment. She got what she wanted. But she's not happy. That's not my problem anymore. Emma nods thoughtfully. You know what's funny? I think you're happier now than you were when you were married. She's right. The past year has been the most challenging of my life, but also the most honest. I know who my real friends are now. I know what I'm capable of when I stop trying to please everyone else. I know that sometimes the only way to win is to refuse to lose. I am happier, I admit. It turns out that self-respect is worth more than a marriage built on lies. We drive home through the city streets, past the motel where this whole mess started, past the hospital where I first understood that my old life was over, past the coffee shop where Emma told me about the engagement, and the lawyer's office where I signed papers that made me a free man. At a red light, Emma turns to me with a mischievous smile. So, what's next for the newly wealthy, newly single David Thompson? I think about the travel brochures on my kitchen counter, the business opportunities my patent attorney keeps sending me, the quiet satisfaction of a life lived on my own terms. Whatever I want, I say. Absolutely whatever I want. The light turns green and we drive toward whatever comes next, leaving the past where it belongs, in the rearview mirror.